Now I am doing the beast. This is a 50-shot rack that I put together. I grabbed the tubes off of pyroboom.com and wanted to build my own 50-shot rack, very slightly fanned, because I don't want to space it out a ton. I still get a limited area on width to work with. So I put in a very slight angle on each. And the way I'm going to fuse this one up is I'm going to use the 20-second blue fuse all up this middle row. So it'll be single shots at a pretty good speed. And those will all have SFX's Hammer of Thunder, which has 24 unique effects. And from seeing the videos online, they all look really cool. So I'm going to break out these shells, group them together in like effects, and fire them through in order for the first 24 shots. So that's going to carry us out 10 shots, and then we're going to go 12, 14, 16, 18, 20, 22, 24. And these are going to fire at the same time, so we're going to get 2 angled out. Then, also by Superior Fireworks, I am doing neon skies in the next ones. I love these shells from the videos online because they all have tails coming out of the tube as well, and it is a 12-pack, so we get the double effects. So I'm going to pair it up so each side is launching the same exact shell coming out. So we'll have the red cocoa tail to green and red stars with gold lace times 2 on each side. So the tails will shoot out of the rack and then up into the sky, same effect. I think that's going to look really nice. And then I still have 2 tubes left. And for that, I'm going to put in 2 skull crushers. I had doubles on these ones as well. And I love the crackle effect, so right at the end of that, these last 2 shells are going to be a red to silver, green to silver palm trees with crackles. So as this one finishes, you get the crackle burst out of it. So that is my plan for this rack here. So I am going to get to work. Alright, hey everyone. Couple things I learned while doing this one. First, this was my first ever rack that I made. I really wanted a big old 50-shot, and just after building it, I can tell you I would never do it again. This thing is heavy as all get out, even without the mortars or the shells in it. So I am sure it is even more beastly now that I've got it loaded up with shells and extra fuse. I really like how the fusing came out on this one though. I think even from the first rack it has gotten a lot better, that these rows are nice, tight, not wandering all around, and I think it's just going to fire a little bit better and a little more in time, which I am worried about by throwing the 2 sides in at once. But I'm feeling pretty good. Now, I have been trimming all of the fuses before I actually start to fuse everything up. And you know what? I think I am done doing that, because while I was going through this, I was still doing a lot of secondary trims to the fuse, because I wanted to try and get a lot of things the same length. So I wanted that fuse, right near the end of the tube. And some of them I shortened up a little too much. Some of them I still had to trim down. Some of them were just so close it wasn't worth it, but I ended up starting to keep trimming them to get them around the same location. And so I'm cutting all these fuses off the shells, 2 times. Why? I think I'm just going to leave them long, get this first connect here to lock everything in place where I want it, and then measure it out to the end of the tube and just do 1 cut and keep going. I think that's just going to save some time make the timing a little better, and make it a little easier and less extra steps for it. But anyway, what we have going on is those 24 Hammer of Thunders. It's going to be a single fire off the blue 20-second fuse. Then we're going to split out. I tried to keep these the same length, and it's going to fire 2 at a time. Once we're done Hammer of Thunders, we go into the Neon Sky, and then we go to the 10-second fuse, fast, 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 and then Skull Crushers on the back end. As much as I think the 50-shot rack is never going to be made again, I am very excited to see it fired off, and I will be loading this thing more and using it again, but those little 24s and the 12 shots, a lot easier to fill, a lot less time to fuse them up, less leaning for doing this whole 10 shot, and just a little more versatile. I mean, you can fuse those together still, you could chain them up, you could do individual, you could mix the shells. I don't know, I just think the 50 is a little beastly. I'm going to put it on a furniture dolly here to wheel it around, but I still have to get this thing outside and in my backyard, well, off of my build table too, where I'm doing all the fusing, and it's just a beast. Well, I hope you liked watching it fire as much as I did. Sorry for the little bit of distorted audio in that. I had a neighbor pop up during the middle of it, and I did the best I could to remove our talking from it. So you do have a little bit of distortion, but I think the shell effects still came through. I love how this thing fired. I love the pacing on it. The one thing I would change is I had the big loop back here of the 20-second fuse, and you've got that delay between these first 10 shots, and there's a little too much wait until they fire. I really should have cut that down more. The reason I went with the big loop is so I could measure it and make sure, or try to make sure things would fire at the same time, and I just had too much slack there. So there's that delay here. Once the 10-second fuse started ripping, it looked beautiful. I'm still torn about the 50-shot rack being such a beast. I'm wondering if I should take 2 of these blades out, have a 30 rack and then a 20, or just build another 10 rack and have 2 30s and increase the fan a little bit. But I absolutely loved how it worked, so I'm probably going to keep it as a 50-shotter. I did use the furniture dolly to move it around, and then I put a little rope harness on it so I could pull it through over the yard and through the grass, and it worked out really well. It's still just a beast to move this thing. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope you guys enjoyed seeing the shells. Those Hammer of Thunders and the Neon Skies were incredible. Absolutely love how it fired, and I hope you guys enjoyed everything.